what I'm going to talk about today is transportation in cities. This is another problem that many cities are facing, the problem of transportation. So cities can basically grow outwards or upwards. Both of these scenarios have their problems. Like if it grows and it's on a small land area, you tend to get a very high population density. If it grows outwards because of things like cheap gasoline, plentiful land, or lots of highways, you tend to get a lot more sprawl. And there's many examples of both these types of city growth around the world. And what we can say with regards to transportation, the United States is a prime example of a car-centered nation. Okay, we have about 4.6% of the world's population. The country has about 1/3 of all the world's passenger cars and commercial vehicles. And many of these vehicles that we have are not the most efficient vehicles. We've got a lot of SUVs, we've got a lot of trucks, and also we're using those passenger vehicles for the vast majority of our urban transportation. And we use transportation to get to work, and if we look at those cars, it's about 3/4 of the people who drive to work will drive to work alone. This is causing congestion. Okay. Also, it's estimated that Americans drive combined the same distance as the rest of the world combined each year. And we use in the United States about 43% of all the world's gasoline. So what we can say, if we look at different types of transportation, we can say motor vehicles do have advantages and disadvantages. There's many advantages, and like when I usually do this class within a classroom, I ask people to give me advantages, and they're very ready to come forward with advantages. However, they don't greatly talk about disadvantage. We have to look around this. I know it's going to take a lifestyle change, but it's a very, very sort of important issue. So as I said, there's a number of advantages. Motor vehicles provide mobility, convenience, and that's a problem often in modern society. Things provide convenience and we don't want to go away from that convenience. They're a comfortable way to get around from one place to another. Symbols of power, sex appeal, social status. It's many, many different things. A very important point is that much of the world's economy is built on producing motor vehicles. Okay? It's estimated that 1 out of every $4 spent in the United States is spent on cars or car-related services outside of food. Okay? There are many disadvantages. It's estimated that 1.2 million people a year are killed by automobile accidents, and there's about 15 million injured. So cars are not that safe. There's about 50 million wild animals killed on the roads each year. And also, motor vehicles are the world's largest source of outdoor air pollution. It's estimated to cause 30,000 to 60,000 premature deaths per year, according to the EPA, or the Environmental Protection Agency. Fastest growing source of climate changing carbon dioxide. So what do we have to do to try to reduce some of the effects of climate change? And they account for 2/3 of the oil used in the form of gasoline in the United States. Motor vehicles help create urban sprawl. You're not going to have that much urban sprawl if you don't have motor vehicles. And at least 1/3 of urban land worldwide and a half in the United States is dedicated to automobiles, with the roads, parking lots, gas stations. Look outside, see how much of the land is paved over. Okay? Another problem is congestion. And we're becoming more accustomed to that congestion. You think about one solution since the 1950s was to congestion, build more roads. The problem is, if you build more roads, those roads will fill up. And this has been the problem. All the roads were leading to major cities. Those cities became more and more congested. And one of the problems, it's estimated that the average US motorist at the present time will spend 2 years of their life stuck in traffic. So how can we reduce automobile use? Well, we could tax it. It's estimated that the damage caused by automobiles, to rectify that, gasoline should be about $12 a gallon. If you suggest that to people, who would put this forward as a politician? No one. So it's a difficult scenario. So what else could we possibly do? You know, there's very high taxes on gasoline in other countries. If you look at Europe, very expensive. Look at Japan, very expensive. We could also develop mass transportation systems. There's 2 different types of transportation. You have individual transportation, like, for example, bikes, walking, cars. But you also have mass transportation, like, for example, buses, trolleys, rail, these sort of things. So these are just some of the areas that we could do. What you could do to try to encourage, you could either use a way of taxing people, or you could use incentives, okay? Or we could look for an alternative. There are several alternatives. For example, bicycles. You know, why not use a bicycle for some short journeys? Bicycles reduce congestion. They promote physical fitness. They emit no CO2 or other air pollutants. They cost little to operate and buy. They reduce the need for parking spaces, and they are also relatively quiet. The other thing we can say, bicycles outsell cars 3-to-1 in the world. Okay? And there's a number of sort of like different schemes in places like Copenhagen, for example. They have 2,000 free bikes, and a bicycle is used every 2 minutes. They're parked outside major buildings, and they're paid for by advertising on the bikes themselves. There is no locks. People come, they take a bike, they do a short journey and put it in a bike rack, come out, get another bicycle. However, there are disadvantages. Things like, for example, little protection in an accident. Bad weather. Impractical for long trips. Can be tiring. Lack of secure parking. There's many things. I've had many, when I was doing this in class, many sort of like answers put forward for what's the disadvantage of bicycles. For example, people give me ideas like, can't ride bicycles in heels, or my hair will get messed up. Things like this. There's many reasons why people just will put an excuse as to not use a bicycle. It might be you can't use a bicycle, or you're unable to ride a bicycle. That's, there are a number of reasons, but we should encourage bicycles, more bicycle lanes possibly, secure bicycle lanes in which maybe cars couldn't get in to those bicycle lanes with raised curbs. We could also have a rail system. More people would prefer to use rail. Rail is quite expensive in the United States. Less people are using rail than maybe in many other developed nations. But mass transport, rail, it uses less energy, produces less air pollution than cars. It requires less land. You think about rail networks, how many people they move, how much land is required to build a rail line. There's fewer injuries and deaths than cars. They reduce congestion. There's no parking. They're expensive, however, to build and maintain. They're cost effective only in densely populated corridors. We have a problem because we are sprawled. They commit riders to a transportation schedule, and they can cause noise and vibration for nearby residents. And there's many sort of rail systems around the world that you can look at. We are seeing more high-speed rail networks being put into place which can compete with the car, but also over about 1,000 miles aircraft. Rapid rail. Okay? There's also buses, you know, and these bus networks are more flexible than the rail, can be rerouted. They cost less to develop and maintain. You can have different sized buses. They can greatly reduce car use and air pollution. You think about how many people are on that bus as opposed to how many people are in your car. How many miles we get to a gallon of fuel in a bus. And divide it by the number of people it's moving. You can use alternative fuels. You don't see your bus in the gas station. Disadvantages, again, can lose money, get caught in traffic, commit riders to a schedule, noisy. And what people always put forward, they didn't like buses, other people. Well, we are the other people. Okay, so that's something relating to transportation. You need to know about these things for test 3. And there's some useful resources at the bottom. If you click on these resources, give you some good things to read about and will help you in your discussion. Okay.